beautiful. For AJ, this happened 26 years ago when he met me. I still remember the day we first met. I was speechless. Mainly because I did not learn to speak till I was 4. Speaking of speeches, for the few of you who do not know me, my name is Steven. I'm AJ's favorite brother, his only brother, but that does not matter. As his favorite brother, I feel it is my obligation to humble him for the next few minutes.
Ready?
We all know.
When writing this best man speech, I looked to others for some inspiration. I asked 2 of AJ's closest friends for some tips or stories that I could include. Here are their unhelpful responses. And I quote, "Just have AJ do it himself." Or, "You should have AJ write it. He has a lot of practice and is probably better at it." Thank you, Sean. As you can tell from these responses, AJ has been the best man several times. But today, I'm the best man.
Yes.
My brother and I are extremely competitive. My goal for today is to have a more memorable speech than any of his. With that said, I went online to research the top ways to ruin a wedding. The number 1 way to ruin a wedding is to have a surprise proposal or engagement overshadow it. Colby Heisinger, will you join me on stage? AJ's only request for my best man speech is that I refrain from talking about any of his past relationships. That only cut out about 3 seconds. Joking aside, my brother is an awesome guy. You can tell a lot about a person by the friends he surrounds himself with. When planning his bachelor party, I was relieved when I looked at the list of the guys he wanted to include. There's a good group of very solid guys all up here. I knew that I wouldn't have to worry about any of them getting into trouble while on the bachelor party. Surprisingly, AJ's bachelor party guest list is almost identical to mine. I guess this leads into one of the reasons why AJ and I are so competitive with each other. We're very similar. We have the exact same car, we're into the same sort of activities, we're both self-employed running our own companies. Although my company won't get replaced by TurboTax. We both have the exact same motorcycle. We both were over 21 when we got our first kiss. We both married our first kiss. And something I didn't know until today, AJ and I have almost the exact same wedding ring size. I don't know if you noticed Katie struggling to put AJ's ring on. It's because I swapped our wedding rings. I'm not kidding you. In some ways, AJ is also different than me. AJ is more of a hands-on type guy. He works on his own truck, changes his own oil. I can see him mowing his own lawn in the future and working on his house. Speaking of which, he and Katie got a gorgeous apartment over here in Walnut Creek. Well, at least I think it is gorgeous. AJ keeps talking about all the work that needs to be done to it after the wedding. Just last week, he kept talking about all the banging and screwing that needs to be done in each room. I guess the remodeling. It's also about time. I have a quick story that kind of captures the relationship AJ and I have. It was Valentine's Day 4 years ago. I was recently single, and AJ, he'd been single all his life. It was 5 o'clock at night, and I got a call from AJ. He asked if I wanted to go dirt biking the next morning. I said sure, so we met at my parents that night and loaded up the motorcycles into my dad's truck. While we were there, we started talking about how fun it would be to drive to Nevada that night so that we could motorcycle there in the morning. I was hesitant at first. AJ looked me in the eyes though and said, "What would Sean Schaefer do?" Basically our way of saying I double dog dare you. So we headed to Nevada that night. Unfortunately, we did not check the weather and it had rained the night before. We ended up getting stuck in a 2-foot deep puddle and had to sleep in the truck. It was 22 degrees outside and we had to cuddle to keep warm. Katie, you're a lucky lady. Someone came by in the morning and pulled out the truck, and we headed straight home without even dirt biking. With that said, we still had a really fun time. We talked the entire time driving, laughing, and cherishing the memory. And that says a lot about AJ. Makes the best out of any bad situation. I wrote a quick poem about AJ and I. Neva, no critiquing this. Not everything runs. Right. Sharing a bunk bed 22 years was a delight. It's hard to imagine why we would ever fight. You tried to hang out with me and my friends, so we duct taped you to the ceiling again and again. In the game of basketball, you once beat me, so I kicked that basketball over the tree. I may have gotten timeout for a full hour, but hey, at least I did not poop in the shower. It's almost over, don't worry. A couple of fun memories that include AJ. We're playing softball over at the Galvins, rollerblading or bike riding down to the Little Blue Store in Clayton, building tree forts together over in Clayton, airsofting together, sorry Daniel, cramming you into the back of the little red truck on our way to school, playing Halo all night while our parents were in Hawaii, having our first beer together with Brock at the Antioch Speedway. It's one of my favorites. All joking aside, AJ is the best brother one could ask for. Brock said something last night that really hit home. A lot of speeches over-exaggerate how good a person actually is. That's impossible with AJ. He truly is the best man I know. Understandably, it's why he's been the best man at so many weddings. He's good down to his core. He's one of those men you hope your daughters will marry in the future. So congrats, Katie, for finally taking him off the market. Speaking of Katie, it's your turn. Unfortunately, I only have good things to say about you. One of my earliest memories of Katie is actually a really cute story. If everyone here didn't already know, I'm pretty sure Katie has been crushing on my brother for several years. This was about 4 years ago, and the show Game of Thrones was very popular. Even though AJ had never seen an episode, we volunteered his and Alex Schaefer's apartment for a premiere viewing party. And guess who showed up even though she had never seen an episode either? That's right, Katie. The one thing I remember is that as everyone was leaving, Katie stayed late so she could wash the dishes with AJ. I really hope that was some sort of innuendo. Katie, you somehow give my brother superpowers. Let me tell you what I mean by that. Last night, AJ shared a story about giving you a phone call while he was running in Newport Beach. What he didn't tell you is that he wasn't just running in Newport Beach, he was on a 6-mile race against me in Newport Beach. Somehow he was able to talk to you for over 20 minutes and still beat me by 4 minutes. Katie, you're beautiful and kind. You're the perfect girl for AJ. You make him happy in ways that I can't, even though I've tried. You are so perfect that you even have my wife worried she will no longer be the favorite daughter-in-law. And I promise, that's the highest compliment anyone can do. And now, if you would all please raise your glasses and toast. This amazing couple, AJ